up above, the sunlight seems like it is gonna break in, and something ain't right. Yeah, something ain't right. Oh, something ain't right.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode, and this one's going to be a little different. I'm sure most of you guys know by now that we lost a really good friend of mine and friend to a bunch of us, Neal Curry. Neal was a second Ranger Battalion veteran and owned Ready Gunner and a Black Rifle coffee shop up in Utah. And while I'm very saddened for his early departure, I just kind of wanted to share like some of the great memories that I had with him and kind of celebrate his life, opposed to, sitting here and crying about it. And because, as cold as this may sound, there's really nothing we can do now. Tears ain't gonna bring him back. None of that stuff's gonna bring him back, but doesn't mean that that we don't remember him. It's kind of a weird thing. I was just telling my wife the other day, I'm very numb to this. I've lost more friends back at home that I did in combat, and after a while, it just numbs the crap out of you, and you just, you kind of deal with it with waves. But Neal and I met about 8 years ago. This is when Black Rifle was, barely starting back in 2014. And I was flying out to Utah a lot. And then, we started partnering up with a bunch of other veterans in that area. And we started making like epic content. You guys probably remember all that stuff. And, we needed to purchase some guns. And someone had mentioned Neal. I was like, let's go to Neal's Ready Gunner. And I had no idea who he was. Like the veteran community is humongous. Like as small as it may seem sometimes, there's a lot of us. And we walked in his beautiful shop. He had just opened it. He started his business in a little office, and then he just took off and built this amazing gun store that had, like 15 lanes, and he had ammo and camouflage. Everything. It was like heaven to me when I walked in. I was like, oh my God. And that was kind of the first time where I literally saw another fellow veteran kind of be successful outside of the military. And he had everything lined up, and him and his wife Casey at the time were pregnant with their first baby together. He had 4 on a previous marriage. And him and his wife were pregnant and got in there and met him. And man, right off the bat, like he was such an amazing guy. Like, you just got the vibe off of him that he was a good soul. Like he cared about everybody. And, we started a friendship right away. We exchanged phone numbers because I was like, dude, I need, I didn't even remember, to be honest with you. I needed a certain gun that I wanted to put in my arsenal. As you guys know, I'm pretty addicted to it, and him and I were just talking, and he was like, dude, I can get that for you. Like, just give me your number and, your credit card. And I was like, dang, this is going to cost me. And so we exchanged phone and phone numbers and all that. And, I thought it was just going to be one of those, business friendships. And it ended up turning into much more than that. It ended up turning to every time that I was in Utah, I go over, and then their baby was born. And it was like an instant connection between the two of us. Like I started feeling more like family to them. And every time I come over there, like, this is Remy. And, every time I show up to Ready Gunner in Utah, Remy just put her hands out, and I carry her throughout the shop. And, we sit in Neal's office and watch cartoons, and she just lay on me. And, on my birthdays, they send me videos like wishing me happy birthday, and you can see little Remy like, wishing me a happy birthday as well. So it became more than that. It became a family, and I like Neal became one of my best friends, and he's a good person. He taught me so many different things. When I get mad and hold a grudge towards someone, he we talk about it, and he kind of be like, look, this is how you got to handle that. Like, just kind of, he was like a free spirited type of person. Like, if you did him wrong, he would never hold a grudge against anybody. He'd just be like, you know what, lesson learned, let's move forward. And was always happy, always uplifting. Like, there were so many things about him that I just learned a lot from him. And then when my brother passed, like, Neal was like right next to me when I got the news. We were supposed to go on a hunt, and he shared some stuff about his brother. His brother had passed as well, when he was in basic training, and he kind of gave me a hug and just was there for me. He's just the type of person he was. And I mean, I can go on and tell you so many stories about Neal. Like, we just bought a house, and I sent him a picture of the land, and he texted right away, like, where's my cabin gonna go? And I screenshotted it and kind of drew a little picture on my phone. It was like, here in the back, and he was like, perfect. And I was like, yeah, it's right next to the feeder. So things like that. And we always stayed in touch. It wouldn't go more than a week without us talking to each other and just kind of filling each other in. We flew to Utah for his grand opening of his coffee shop. It was all those amazing things that you find in a person. And I think nowadays it's kind of hard to find that type of friendship with other people. And it was just, I cherish the times that we spent together. So when I got the news that he had passed, it just kind of, it crushed me. It was unexpected. I started getting in my own head and started thinking different things and wondering why. And I mean, these are answers that are never going to be, these are questions that are never going to be answered, just because, he was dealing with his own stuff. And, it's just things that we don't have any control over. We can't, expect to have an answer for it. And, I literally, there's been a few nights I haven't slept, just kind of keep thinking about it, and all the great memories that we had. Like I mentioned earlier, I don't like to dwell over negative shit. Not that there was any, because honestly, we had an amazing time. It was one of those where, like, it was all love, it was all fun. We worked together on a bunch of different projects. He go out of his way to find things for me, and vice versa. It was just so many great things that we cherished together. He had another daughter, River, and got to meet her as a baby, and met all his other kids as well. Traveling on the road so much, sometimes you kind of get bored of sleeping in hotels, and all those sleepless nights at hotels. And when he find out that I was coming to Utah, I stayed with him and his family. And, we go up in the mountains and hang out at their properties, and, all those great things that you share with someone that you're very close with. And like I mentioned earlier, like, this is more to celebrate, how happy he was, how giving he was, how loving of a father he was. I mean, I looked up to him in that way, because I want to be like him when I have kids. And he if we had somewhere to go, have fun and do rat stuff, but one of their kids had like a soccer game, he'd be like, sorry guys, I can't go, I gotta go to the soccer game. Or he'd take his father-in-law and mother-in-law and everybody else, and they go up in the mountains and start looking and glassing for a mule deer that his 69-year-old father-in-law needed to hunt. And it will take a village. And one of the biggest things that was shared to me by his sister-in-law Jamie was, anytime something needed to happen, it was like Neal, and they would always be like, nailed it, kind of like nailed it. And he was just that type of guy that made things happen to make sure that everybody else around him was happy. That was just who he was. He was more than a friend. He was my brother. It's gonna suck not being able to talk to him, and not be around him, and not have that, just that beautiful soul of his around to make you laugh. But not only that, like it was more than that. It was just like he was the type of guy to just bust my balls. Like he would call and be like, "Hey, are you still complaining about your burns?" Or like, just shut up and go. Things like things that that real close friends tell one another, where like you have that, you're comfortable enough to say some some really rad stuff that other people would not have the courage to say. And we talk smack to each other, and that was kind of the friendship that we had. And I loved him for that, because he never really saw me for disabilities. He saw me for me. Like he looked past everything else. And like I mentioned, I learned a lot from him. I'm definitely gonna miss him. So Neal, wherever you are, brother, I love you. Know that we are gonna always be here for your family. We're gonna be here for the kids. We're gonna be here for Casey. And I'll see you when I see you, brother. I love you, and gonna miss you.